The theme, the tapestry of love, is what our purpose and what we're here for. We're here on a journey of awakening and remembering that it's all God, it's all love, it's all goodness. But the problem is we forget. We get so distracted by the world of forms, right? We get caught in the tears or the loose threads in the tapestry and all wound up that we can start getting filled with fear, thinking we're all alone, or we can get tied up thinking there's not enough or we're not good enough, and we forget that this whole beautiful life is the artistry of God and goodness. And we're the creators. We're the ones that get to weave together the parts of life so we can create beautiful things. But the process can be a difficult one. It's meaningful. That's what we're here. That's what our spiritual awakening does. It allows us to put meaning and understanding into our life. But we were never promised that it was easy and not messy, because life is that way. Joseph Campbell, he coined the hero's journey. He was a great scholar and academic, and he went around studying all around the world, worldwide, stories from just different cultures. And he found out that there was a main theme in most of the stories. And it was a story, he called it the hero's journey. And the hero's journey is about moving through this story, the character moving, venturing out in the story for a special reason, for something it wants, something the character wants. And on that journey, which is our journey of awakening or remembering or whatever it is, the main character gets caught in conflict after conflict, but it always ends where the character triumphs over adversity. And this is a theme of stories throughout the world, and it's the theme of our life, because we are the weavers and the artists of the tapestry of our own life. And it's about how much meaning and understanding can we bring to life to understand truly what Ernest Holmes teaches all the time, that God is for us and never against us. There could not be a God. It would be impossible to have a creator that punishes and rewards, because that would be duality. And when we have duality, that's when we suffer from the pairs of opposites. All the mystics understand this. They all understand, because mystics, whatever religion or faith or culture the mystics are in, each one wants an intimate, inward experience of God without all the distractions of the outer world. But just that experience brings a bigger picture, a higher view. And Sufism is the Islam mystical path. And Hafez has a great line of that I love. He says, "Cut the reins of illusion so we can all go wild and keep loving God and each other all day long." But we have to cut the reins of illusion, that the tears and the problems and the disconnect and the loneliness and the confusion and the frustration is all there is, because it is not. It is not. There's so much more to life. If we start putting the pieces together of our life, it's like Jean Houston talks about the woundings we have get healed when we're willing to let go of the old stories we're carrying around about hurt and problem and pain, and we keep repeating them over and over again, and start letting them go to morph into a new story that's part of our life, that makes sense, why we're here, where we're going, what we're growing into. But we have to remember there's so much more, and it takes a lot of work. So if you're the weaver of your life, you just don't weave a little bit and let it go, because then you never get the picture done. We need to be the co-creators with Spirit. So here we have this canvas of life, and we've got all the strength and the power of God. Remember when Ernest Holmes says there's a power for good in the universe greater than we are, and we can use it anytime, anywhere, always, infinitely. It's there for us. We have to be there for it. We have to be there to remember we're here to use life to learn and grow, to create a bigger story. So today's theme, that tear in the tapestry, is where the place we get stuck. We get caught in the tear, or not being able to see the bigger picture. We figured out what this is. My mask puts the microphone too close to my face, so Kirk's giving me little signs to pull it away. Thank you, dear, thank you. So, where are we stuck right now? We're at a time in life, in the world, where there's a lot going on. There's a lot going on that can keep us stuck in the tears, that can keep us stuck in the problems. And I read the shaman's Power Path theme this month is keep on keeping on. We have to keep on keeping on no matter what. And it listed all the different ways that we could be overwhelmed right now. And I was overwhelmed by reading all the places and ways we could be overwhelmed. It was like, oh my goodness. And how much more we have to keep focused on our spiritual practices. And prayer is essential. Prayer is the commingling of our thoughts and minds with Spirit. Because if you actually think about what gets us caught in the tears, it's our mind and our heart that forget there's something more going on. So we have to retrain that mind, refocus it to know that there's more going on than just what we're seeing in the moment. And so much of it has to do with duality and the pairs of opposites. Actually, there was a great, I don't think I can find it right now, but there was a great quote by somebody that reminded me of something wonderful. It was so cool, and I can feel it, but I can't tell you what it was. But it was about Rumi's two fields, the pairs of opposites, and I think I know what it was. It was the Bhagavad Gita. There it goes. Free yourself from the delusion of the pairs of opposites, and you will be free. How many thousands of years ago was the Bhagavad Gita written? It was written thousands and thousands of years ago, and we're still trying to... Is it doing it again, babes? Oh, man. Turn it down just a tad, please, and see if that helps. And we'll see, and I try to be not so loud. But the pairs about... It's like that field Rumi talks about, when you lie down in the field, and nothing makes any sense, even the phrase each other. Because, as I said, the mystics know. They know that we are all one. Who was the greatest living example of this that we're still talking about today? And that was Jesus. Jesus didn't go on with a long list of things we had to do to reach that beautiful, bigger picture. He just had two things, two commandments. He said, love God with all your heart. That's the inner work, the intimate, inward relationship with God. Love God with all your heart. And once we do that, once we get so connected in knowing who we are and why we're here, then we can go out and love one another. But not until we're connected and remembering we are loved. We are loved, we are loving, that's the truth of who we are. Then we can go out and spread that energy in the world. Well, the piece of the hero's journey I didn't tell you yet was, yes, the main character goes out and has this journey and triumphs over adversity. But Joseph Campbell goes on to say, the purpose of the journey is compassion. That's what's really driving all of us. There's something in us, all of us, not some of us. There's a compassion that knows that we belong to each other, that we're here for each other. There's a connection. It's there. Sometimes we've got to uncover it because it's been loaded up with so much illusion of what's not true and right. It's only the truth that will set us free. It's only the truth that God and life is for us. that we're on an infinite journey of awakening, that we're going to really realize, oh, I get it now. I understand why there's so many rips in my life. I can understand why there's grief and pain and hurt and sorrow. I get it because I'm waking up to know that I have an important piece to play in this piece of life, this part of life, the compassion that's there. I loved, Kathy and Roger, when you talked about Howard Thurman today and the beautiful reading, and then, of course, your prayer, Roger, always takes me to an exalted place. But Howard Thurman was an amazing African-American scholar, theologian, philosopher, author, a great leader in the social and civil rights movements of the 20th century. He was the mentor to Dr. Martin Luther King. And he said, we need to find common ground. Don't go asking people, well, what are your politics? What's your religion? Tell me about, don't do that. He said, ask people, what's your experience of God? And if that's not a topic, what's your experience of love? How do you experience beauty? Talk about the things that matter. And I love that. That took my soul and woke me up, because right now we need to be finding common ground in order for us to keep on keeping on. It's not that there won't be pain and there won't be sorrow and there won't be confusion, but we don't have to keep feeding it all the time. We have to be the ones that are strong enough, courageous enough to stand up. Doesn't mean we give up what matters to us at all, but it doesn't build a wall in between ourselves and other people. That matters to me. It matters that we can still love each other beyond what our mind is thinking. We know that there's something bigger at work, and that's what I want for all of us. So, since this is the first Sunday of our adventure in faith, and we're really on this journey of weaving this tapestry of love, which would be compassion, which would be kindness, I know in each one of you and me, there is a level of kindness, there is a level of love, a level of belief in God and goodness and truth. There is that level. We need to take from where we are, what we have, and pull up the best in us, the very best. Pull up that little bit of faith. Do you know even a little bit of faith can move us over the huge challenge, instead of having to go through it and feel it and experience it and be broken down? A little bit of faith can ride us over the problem into the possibility. Now, to keep, in the shaman's article, to keep on keeping on, he said it means we need to focus on the positivity, which is what we want. That's what we teach. That's who we are. But positivity without denial or naivete. It means, yeah, there's a problem we need to deal with, but let's focus on what's possible and not get stuck in the disappointments, in the problems, in the uncomfort, in the sadness, not get stuck. I'll tell you, when I came in this morning, a dear practitioner here was saying, gosh, it must be hard right now with all the problems going on, in our community, because we're just a microcosm of the macrocosm. It must be hard trying to deal with all of that. And I said, you know what? We have a community where we've learned to take care of each other. And yes, there have been some big problems this week that I've talked to people about and worked with, but I love to stand back and watch people taking care of each other. My heart set on fire when I hear people connecting and doing good for each other out in the world. It makes life so much better. So I'm just going to offer that this week we start sharing the good things. Sharing them with each other, checking in on somebody and just saying, do you need anything this week? Just stretch out a little bit, even if that tear in your own heart, in your own mind is big. That's how we help. We stretch out, we stretch out, we step out. So I want We all have the mystic in us. There's not a person that doesn't have mystical experiences. We all do, right? We all have mystical experiences. But we want to start living from that place. And, if you didn't have masks on, I'd ask you to shout out, who's my favorite mystic? But you don't need to, because I already know couldn't give out a prize because everybody would win. But my very favorite, because it's poetic, I think. I love all the mystics. Meister Eckhart, the 13th century German Christian mystic, said, "The eye in which I see God is the same eye which God sees me, because God's eye and my eye are one loving, one kindness, one goodness." That's beautiful too. But Rumi said, I love that, but Rumi gets down and dirty, and that's kind of fun to get really in the... He says, dance when you're broken open. So when you see that tear and you feel like it's bleeding, dance, celebrate, say hallelujah. I'm here to learn and grow. Dance when you're broken open. Dance when you're tearing that bandage off. Dance. I can't get excited, I don't think. Is that possible? Dance in the middle of fighting. Gosh, that would kind of end the fight, wouldn't it? Come dance with me. Come dance with me. And then Rumi says, dance when you're finally free. Free of the illusion, free of the duality, free of the pairs of opposites, free of holding on to the old things that keep us stuck. Let's dance when we're finally free. So we started singing hallelujah to the brokenness of life, and we're going to end celebrating the brokenness too. Because in our groups today, the people that stay for the groups, we're going to talk about where the tears are in our life and how we fix them, because we have to be honest. We can't be in denial. So today I'm going to ask you not only to bless your life in this moment, bless the broken parts, bless the broken road, bless the things that aren't working right now, because there's something more. There's something more. So as you bless yourself, because as we do our own healing, do our own work, it becomes contagious and we heal others. So we can bless the tears, bless the broken road, and bless each other, because we are much, much stronger than the sum of our parts. I know we can do this work together. I know we have a blessing to give the world. I want you to know how much I care and love this community, how much joy it gives me to be here together with you. I love you all, and so it is. Thank you.